Greetings everyone. So we are into the second lesson of Analytic Geometry unit, and we will talk today about the midpoints of a line segment. It's not a new concept to you, I know, we've done this in grade 9, but just to recap one more time, if we have 2 points, A and B, as endpoints of a line segment, then the point in the middle will be point C, as indicated in here. We'll have coordinates x and y. The relationship between the x coordinates of the midpoint with the x coordinates of the two endpoints is x equals x1 plus x2 over 2. I know that when formulas accumulate, it becomes a bit difficult for us to memorize them all or make sense of them all. But the way I see it is this: midpoint, the average of x, the average of y. Okay, so the average of the x coordinates will be the sum divided by the number of numbers, so divided by 2. The average of the two y coordinates is the sum of the y coordinates divided by 2. So we're going to say that xm, or at c, which is a midpoint, and y at c will have the coordinates x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2. We're going to practice this in an exercise. We are given 2 points, points A with coordinates 2 and -3, and point B with coordinates 4 and 7. So we'll call this x1, y1, and this one x2, y2. And we'll say that the x in the middle will be the average x1 plus x2 over 2. And the y in the middle would be the average y1 plus y2 over 2. So it's pretty simple and straightforward determining the midpoint. So then we have 4 plus 3 over 2, 4 plus 2 over 2, or 6 over 2, which is 3. And y1 plus y2 would be 7 plus -3 over 2. That's 4 over 2, which is 2. So we're going to say that the coordinates of the midpoint will be x equals 3 and y equals 2. We can also graph this on the Cartesian plane, where you can see it more clearly. And I'm going to quickly try to graph this. We have a y of 7 and x of 4, so because I'm going to draw the axis somewhere in here. And I'll plot the 2 points, x equals 2, y is -3. So this is x2 and y -3. Sorry. That's our point A. And point B, 4 and 7. So x equals 1, 2, 3, 4 here. X equals 4 and y equals 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 right here. And we'll say that 4 and 7 will be the point B right here. We'll connect the 2 points together. And it seems that the midpoint is at x equals 3 and y equals 2, which is right here. That's the midpoint. Okay, so we're going to use the midpoint formula now to answer or to solve this problem. And this is not a very short process, so it's kind of elaborate. So being organized when we have such tasks is very important. So we have a triangle ABC, and we know the vertices, the coordinates, and we need to find the equation for CD, which is the median of the triangle. So here goes the point A first, the x and the y axis. The point A has coordinates x equals 3 and y equals 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that takes the point A somewhere in here. And I will write the coordinates as well. The point B is negative 5 and 2, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 negative and positive 2. So that's point B, negative 5, positive 2. The last one is point C, x equals 1 and y equals negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 4. And that's a point C, 1 and negative 4. And we'll connect the 3 points together. Okay. And we will try now to, excuse me, to find the equation of CD. So CD is the median drawn from C onto AB. That's the only way to draw it, right? So we have to find the midpoint. That means that the midpoint of AB must be D, since the median is called CD, right? And we'll connect the points C and D together, and we'll have to find the equation of it. Now remember, to find the equation of a line, we need the coordinates of the two endpoints, or we need the slope and the y-intercept. So I'm going to write the equation first. The equation of any line is y equals mx plus b. So in order to find the equation, we're going to need to figure out what this number is here and what this number here is, right? Like the constant. So in order, we are going to get started with the slope. To find the slope of CD, we're going to need to know the coordinates of D. What we know about D is that it must be the midpoint of the line AB or side AB. And how do we know this? We know it because this is a median, okay? So we can find, we can start by finding the coordinates of the point D, right? Which should be x in the middle and y in the middle. And this is in the middle of A and B. So A is 3, 4. And B is negative 5, 2. So the x-coordinate must be 3 plus negative 5 divided by 2. And the y-coordinate 4 plus 2 divided by 2. And further to this, we're going to say that's negative 2 divided by 2, and then 6 over 2. And that will make the point D with coordinates negative 1, or we'll give the point D coordinates negative 1 and 3. So happy I have this, so I'm going to kind of box this up because I'm going to use it later. And now in order to find the slope, I'm going to need to use 2 points on the median. So I got D, I have C, I have to find the slope. So now we need to find the slope M for the median CD. So the slope of the line is delta y over delta x. So here is C, 1 and negative 4, and here is D, negative 1 and 3. So the slope would be delta y, or y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So here we go again. We're going to say y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So slope equals 3 minus negative 4 divided by negative 1 minus 1. So 7 over negative 2. So the slope of the median is 7 over negative 2. So it seems that we have a negative slope, and you can tell that this is a negative line, right? So, or a line with a negative slope, we must say. We still need to find the y-intercept, so we solve the problem for the slope, but we need to find the y-intercept. But since I have the slope, I'm going to substitute it right away, 7 over negative 2x, and then plus the y-intercept b. Now, this is what I need to figure out at this point, okay? So in order to find this, we're going to think what other things can we substitute in the equation, right? So we only have that on B to find. Well, we have an X and a Y. So that means we can use the X and the Y of any point on this line. And which point would you use? Well, either C or D. Let's see which coordinates I like better. I like D. And it has smaller numbers, not much of a difference anyways, but you can use either or. And -1 and 3, will represent the X and the Y in this equation. So I'm going to write, instead of Y in here, I'll write 3. 7 over -2. The operation in between here is multiplication, in case you were wondering. Substitute X by -1 plus B. So 3 equals, and I'm going to write 7 over -2 as a decimal. As long as you're not rounding it, it's totally fine. Multiplied together will make a positive, right? Because two negatives, right? And then plus B. That will make B equal to -0.5. Take 3.5 to the other side. So therefore, we're going to say the equation of the median is y equals -7 over 2x minus 1 over 2. That's the -0.5. And with this, we are done finding the equation of the median. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the next question, which is finding GH, where GH is the right bisector of AB. And I made a new diagram in here because I don't want to overcrowd this diagram. We're still using the same points. So I will quickly draw this triangle. So here I got the point C, 1 and -4. The point A, 3 and 4. And the point B, -5 and 2. And I will connect all the 3 points. Here we go again. That same triangle. And the next thing that we want to do here is, I don't think I did a good job with drawing this triangle. Let me try it one more time. Okay. I'm very sorry about this. Let me do it. It kind of looks better now. Okay, awesome. So we need to find the equation for GH, where GH is the right bisector of AB. So first, let's locate AB. AB is right here. Now, we want to draw the right bisector on AB. Remember what the right bisector, the concept of right bisector is, right? The definition. Now, to bisect something means to divide into two equal halves, equal parts, into two equal parts. And when it's right, that means it's perpendicular. So we want to draw a perpendicular on AB right in the middle of AB. So first we have to find the middle of AB, which I am going to call the point D, just like I did in the previous example here. And we're going to draw from here a perpendicular. And I'm going to try my best in here. Perpendicular. Oh, not that great. Okay. Oh, that's definitely not good. This is a little better, but I can do better. I know I can do better. Nope. This is perfect. Okay, so we're going to call this GH. Okay, and we want to find the equation of it. Now remember that to find the equation of GH, we're going to need to know, or we're going to need to find first something like this. We don't know M, we don't know B. So how can we find the slope of GH? Remember that the only point we know here is the point D, right? And the point D we said had coordinates -1 and 3. We also knew that A was 3 and 4, and we knew that B was -5 and 2. So we cannot use 2 points on GH to find the slope of it. So what else do we know about GH though? We do know that GH makes a 90-degree angle with AB because it's perpendicular to AB. So we're going to use this fact along with the fact that two perpendicular lines have their slopes negative reciprocals of each other, so they're related. And we're going to start by finding the slope of AB. And that's because the slope of GH must be negative reciprocal the slope of AB. So the slope of AB equals, I'm going to write the coordinates of A and B here on the side, 3, 4, and -5, 2. So here goes x1, y1, x2, y2. Do this if it helps. I'm only adding these details because I'm explaining. It's not a must though. Like once you get going with these kind of calculations, like if you get them, then you do it a bit faster. It comes with practice, remember, everything. So I'll go y1 minus y2, so I'm going to subtract this way around. So 4 minus 2 over 3 minus -5. That gives a slope of +2 here over 8. So it seems that the slope of AB is 1 over 4. So that will make the slope of GH, which is negative reciprocal of AB, -1 over 1/4, or even better, -4. I'm very happy with this slope. It's quite a nice number. And we're going to say slope of GH, we got you. And we're ready to substitute it on the, or in the equation of the line. And the equation now looks a little better. So we have y equals -4x and then plus b. We have one more piece in the puzzle to complete, so we need to find what the value of b is. But we already know this, or we kind of know it because we just practiced something similar in part A, the question A. And we're going to say we can use a point on this line. Now remember, this time, the only point you know on this line is the point D, so we don't have a lot of choices, but we at least have a choice. So we're going to take that point D and substitute with coordinates -1 and 3 and substitute it in here for x and y. So we're going to write y equals 3 equals -4 for the slope, x is -1 plus b, 3 equals 4 plus b, 3 minus 4 equals b, and hooray, we've just found that b equals -1. So therefore, we're going to say that the equation of GH is y equals -4x minus 1. Okay, and we're done. Okay, now, your independent practice in here is about finding the right bisectors, two of the right bisectors in this triangle, right? You're given the vertices and you're given the names of each right bisector, and you have to find the coordinates of the circumcenter. Remember that the circumcenter of the triangle is where all the right bisectors intersect. Okay, so that's the definition of it. And you can draw a diagram here just for the fun of it, but that's just a starting point for you. So what you want to do in here is step number 1, determine the equation of each right bisector. So the equations of each right bisector. And because we know that all three right bisectors will intersect at the same point, we only need two right bisectors to find out where that intersecting point will be, or that where the centroid will, where the circumcenter will be. So you're going to put those two equations together, solve the system, and solve, right, in a system. So solve the system of the two equations of the right bisectors. Okay, so that's the strategy I would say, okay, that you can follow in order to complete this exercise. And that will be it for this lesson. Okay, so I'll see you next time. Hope everything made sense, and have fun completing your practice.